Alright guys, so today I'm going to be doing a video because, well, I just have to get on here and just talk because I miss just recording videos. So this video is going to be about some of my favorite things I have found while yard selling or thrifting. Some things, I'm looking around, at least two things that I can see right off the bat here are something that someone else has found while yard selling or thrifting and has given to me. So I did make a community post. Eric and I are going to be sitting down probably on Tuesday and recording a question and answer video. So if you happen to have any questions for either of us, you can leave them on that post on the community tab. I think I posted it on Instagram, or if you want to, if you haven't seen either of those and you have a question, you can just leave it down in the comments on this video. So I'm excited to be recording that video for you guys. But this one here, I did see a couple questions of like what were, you know, my favorite purchase from a yard sale or thrift store, and I was like thinking like, well, I could do a whole video about that. So I came up with 10 things. So we'll see how this one goes. I'm sure there's like other stuff as well, not just the things that I have listed here. Some of the things are, I guess you'd say, frivolous, and other things are more of a, you know, I bought them for like sentimental type reasons and that kind of thing. So we're just gonna go through everything. These aren't in like numerical order of my absolute favorite or anything like that. Just kind of like what I was thinking in my head, like what were my favorite things. So everything you see that I'm going to share, I either purchased at a yard sale or a thrift store, and I'll try to, if I can remember exactly what I paid, I'll let you know. And you will also see a reoccurring theme of my mom, and it's something that, you know, like I made this channel kind of after her in a way. She used to call me Shell.Belle. That was my nickname. And I've been yard selling and thrift store shopping with her for absolute years. So I just kind of wanted to keep her in with everything that I'm trying to do on this channel as far as yard selling and thrifting, because she played such a huge part of that in my life. And I will honestly say, like, this is something that like no one, well, I might have mentioned it on my other channel like years and years ago, but I honestly used to be embarrassed to go thrift store shopping when I was younger, and she would want to go and she'd take me, and I was just thinking about it last night, and obviously I got upset and started crying because it's like I hate thinking of things that might have hurt her feelings, but at the time, you know, you're young and you don't think of those things like hurting your parents' feelings or anything like that. You're just, you know, kind of angsty and, you know, that kind of thing. And it's one thing I struggle with is just regrets and that kind of thing. But I specifically remember this one time she wanted to stop at a thrift store, and I mean, I didn't care if she stopped, obviously, but I would not get out and go into the store with her because I was just too embarrassed. I was always afraid, and it was the same with when she would go yard selling. I wouldn't go yard selling with her because I was embarrassed, and it was because, you know, as a kid, I was afraid that there'd be kids in the class that would see me wearing something that possibly belonged to them and asking like why. You know what I mean? Like, you know, your parents can't afford to shop at regular stores and that kind of stuff. So like that was something that as a young child, like just really had, you know, it was, I'm not crying, I promise. I feel like I have something in my eye. I'm gonna try not to cry in this video. So yeah, so that was something that like I struggled with when I was younger. And then as I got older, obviously, I started to like not give a shit basically as to, you know, where my stuff was coming from and that kind of thing. And I'm so thankful that she loved yard selling and loved thrift store shopping so much, and that I was able to finally kind of like come out of that embarrassment shell of it all and start to find enjoyment in it as well. And to this day, I still do. And, you know, I just want to keep going and keep, you know, just, I always feel like she's beside me every time I go out, and she's there, you know, looking at stuff and helping me find things. So these are just some of the things, and there's going to be a lot of rambling in this video too, and I am not apologizing for it. So yeah, so let's just get straight on into the things that I want to share with you as my favorites. So the first thing is very frivolous, but this is my stack of Lularoe leggings. I'm pretty sure this is my whole collection, if you will. I have a decent amount of pairs. I wouldn't necessarily I have an absolute favorite pair because, well, I didn't purchase any of these, you know, from anyone selling Lularoe. These all came from either a yard sale or a thrift store. So basically I buy what's in my size, and whatever print is on it is what's on it. But if I had to pick a favorite out of the ones I owned, I would choose this Beauty and the Beast pair of Beast. Wouldn't be my first choice of a Beauty and the Beast pair. I'd rather have Chip and Mrs. Potts, but that would probably be my favorite pair out of my stack. So as I stated, all of these came from yard sales or thrift stores. Typically when I find them at yard sales, they're either obviously used, or there have been times where I've found brand new ones of people who, you know, used to sell Lularoe and were stopping, you know, their sales and stuff like that. And then those people tend to sell theirs at like $5 a pair, which out of this stack, I can't imagine I paid any more than $5 for a pair. Whether that was at a thrift store or a yard sale. I couldn't even tell you what a retail price is on a pair of Lularoe leggings because I never paid retail for one. But definitely these are one of my favorites. I don't actually wear these out in public. I'm just not that comfortable wearing something so bold. I would be if I were still a teenager, but as an adult, I am not as bold anymore as far as like what I'm wearing. So I don't wear these out. I just wear them lounging around the house, and right now they're like a lifesaver because I feel like I've just been living in these. So yeah, definitely a favorite of mine, and I still will continue to look for Lularoe leggings while thrifting, while yard selling. And like I said, as long as they're my size, I don't really particularly care what the print is. They're just very soft, very comfortable, and they're just perfect for lounging around the house in, which is exactly what we've all been doing lately. Well, those of us who are not working currently. So that is the first thing. The second thing, and I brought up two of these from downstairs in the kitchen. One of them actually has my tea in right now, but I brought up one that wasn't filled as well, so you could see one filled and one not filled. But these are owl glasses, and I don't know exactly who originally made them or anything like that, but these actually belonged to my mother, and she got them at a yard sale. So I don't know, you know, what she paid for them or anything like that, but this is one of the first things I think I took from her house after she passed. And I just love them because I love owls and I love drinking iced tea. It's like my drink of choice. So I fell in love with these, and I have a pretty decent sized set. Thankfully, I have not broken any yet. I don't know what I'm gonna do if I ever break one or start breaking more than one, because I'll probably have to get on eBay and try to find them, and I will pay top dollar for them so I can replace them. But I just absolutely love them. They're like my favorite thing to drink out of, not only because they belong to her, but also because they're owls, and I love them. So if anyone would happen to know who they're made by, I never actually did any kind of research on them, so I'm not, you know, entirely sure who made them, but I love them. All right, the next thing is actually something I got at a thrift store. These I got at St. Vincent's thrift store on half off day, and they're Christmas decorations. And before I go on with what they are and everything like that, One little quirk that my mother had was she would leave yard sale price tag stickers on the bottom of the stuff that she bought. So like, you know, if you're talking about a piece of home decor or something like that, she would leave the yard sale price sticker on the bottom. So when someone would come over and like, you know, she'd have visitors over and they'd ask her, you know, oh, where did you get this piece, that blah, 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 blah. She'd lift it up and be like, oh, I got it at a yard sale, pay 50 cents. And I have noticed that, like, I'm not even trying to do stuff like that, but I'll see bits of her in me. And when I was pulling these out, I left the price sticker on of what I paid. Well, I didn't actually pay these because they were 50% off day. So these were $10 a piece at the thrift store, but since it was 50% off day, I paid $5 a piece for them. And I do have them out of the box, so I'll show you. But there is a Santa and a Mrs. Claus. So these were originally from Costco of all places, and they are so adorable. I absolutely love them. I put them out every year. I've had them for quite a few years now. So this one is Santa Claus, and you can see he's on this like spring, so he kind of bobbles around, and these things are really heavy. So his base says ho ho ho, and do you just see how incredibly jolly he is? Oh my gosh, I absolutely love these guys. Super heavy, very well made. Oh look, I didn't even realize this, but the price tag's on the bottom as well. Oh my gosh. Yep, my mom's probably laughing at me right now. But yes, I absolutely love these. They are so incredibly whimsical. And I display them on my entertainment center. So like one sits by like one side of the television and this one sits on the other. So this one is Mrs. Claus and her base says joy. And she's on a spring as well. Also kind of holding a candy cane. And just look at how happy their faces are. Oh, I just love putting these out year after year. They bring me such joy. So that was an amazing find. I was so excited. I remember the day I found those. This was kind of before Eric really started getting into going to thrift stores with me. I was by myself, and St. Vincent's doesn't take cards, like you have to pay in cash, and I didn't have any cash on me, and I saw these and I was like, I am not leaving here without these. I have to find a way to buy them. So I asked the ladies if I could like have them hold them and run to the bank and get some cash out so I could buy them, and so they did, and I went back and I got them, and I was so incredibly happy. I'm so glad I was able to get them because every year when I put them out, they make me smile. So, and I love stuff like that, like decorations, like home decor that's just very like fun and whimsical is how I would describe it. So that was definitely a favorite thrift store score for sure. My next item actually came from a yard sale, and it is this 31 bag. And again, I don't know what these retail for originally, but I always wanted one, and the reason that I wanted one was to essentially keep in my trunk of my car, just to like throw stuff in. This was when I was working at my old job. I used to have to wear steel toes, well I still do, but I used to have to wear steel toes and like a reflective vest, and I had all this kind of gear that I would need to put on, and so I would just throw everything in this bag in my trunk essentially, and I just literally got it out of my trunk and cleaned it up. I had seen a Facebook post of someone soaking theirs in the tub just to get off like all the dirt and the grime and the grossness, so that's what I did with mine, and it came fairly clean. It's not like the best looking anymore from like throwing like my shoes and stuff in it, but now I use it to carry my packages in to the post office. Like, I don't know why I wasn't thinking about that originally, but it's become like kind of a lifesaver for me here lately, especially like on days when I don't have anyone to help me carry my packages. it really holds a lot of stuff. Now, I do have actually a package inside right now that I have to take to the post office. Unfortunately, it's only one. Sales haven't been too good this past couple of days, but this has definitely become a favorite of mine as far as yard sale finds go. And I got this actually with my mom. There was a lady who was selling, again, she used to sell 31, so she was selling off some of her stuff for like obviously cheaper, but I still think, because my mom bought it for me, so I can't say for sure. I don't remember exactly what we paid for it, but it was something that I wanted. She knew that I wanted it, so, you know, she had bought it for me. So I absolutely love that thing. Like I said, it's been a lifesaver when I've been going to the post office here recently with a lot of packages. So that was definitely something that I love, and I'm so glad that I found at a yard sale for cheaper than retail. So obviously my mom didn't have to pay full retail for it, which again, I don't really know what full retail is for one of those, but if you have a lot of packages to carry, definitely look into those, because I thought that that was an awesome thing to have. Before, I was just pretty much using like plastic bags and stuff like that, and it was, oh my gosh, some days I just struggled so hard trying to like carry a bunch of packages. So I am thankful for that. Alright, so that brings us to the next thing, and this also is kind of keeping in with the whimsical things that I am attracted to. And my mom always knew that about me, like I was into more like obscure and weird things, and she actually found this for me at a yard sale and purchased it. But it is just this cutest bird, and ever since she got this, I've just been naturally drawn to decorations of things that have long, skinny, kind of stick legs. So a lot of like my Christmas decorations and even like Halloween decorations kind of have a theme of just long, stick-legged like Santa Clauses and snowmen and stuff like that. But this bird is just on this base here, and it's signed Douglas, and I honestly never really looked up the maker of this or anything like that, because it was nothing I was ever, you know, going to sell. But this bird for the longest time was in my living room, just kind of chilling in the living room. I did end up putting him in the bookcases that we got at the auction, but I think I'm gonna put him back down in the living room just because that's where he always has been, and he just kind of like keeps a watch on things kind of thing. So I just absolutely love this bird, and you know, obviously since it was given to me by my mom, and she just knew my taste so incredibly well. So I have that. Next thing I'm gonna talk about some of my favorite things, like finding things are purses. I've always been obsessed with purses. It's one of those things that you know, I just always really liked. Back when I was younger, in my teenage years, I was pretty obsessed with designers. Like I had to have everything like name brand. I mean, you know how it is when you're younger. And even like selling on eBay, like when I lived with my parents still and I was selling on eBay, like most of what I bought was things that, you know, I really couldn't afford, but I just had to have kind of thing. So like a lot of my purses had to be like designer brands and stuff like that. And that's kind of like what got me hooked on and into like the whole high-end kind of thing when it came to shoes, purses, that kind of thing. But as I got older, that kind of faded away. I mean, I still am naturally attracted to that kind of stuff, but mainly just to resell it. I don't necessarily like when I'm buying a new, well heck, I haven't bought a new purse in a really long time, but I'm not as obsessed about brands anymore like I used to be when I was younger. So one of my favorite brands to find when I'm thrifting and yard selling is Fossil. You guys probably have figured that out over time, like with me purchasing stuff. So I have a couple Fossil pieces. I didn't bring everything in here with me. This is one of the Fossil purses that I use pretty dang often. This one's just a much smaller one, but it's crossbody, which I really like. That way I'm not carrying like a whole load like up here on my arm. So, and I definitely like these more like when I'm yard selling, just so it's easier for me to get into my purse to get my money and stuff like that. So, but I love Fossil bags because they're just so well made and they're just really classic to me, and I feel like they just go with anything. So like no matter what you're wearing, you know, it just kind of goes with it. So that purse I got at a yard sale. I want to say I spent $5 or $10 on it. I don't exactly remember, but it was nowhere near more than $10. I feel like it was $5, but I could have spent a little more on it because it was something that I knew I was going to carry a lot. This one here, again, I don't remember exactly what I spent on this one either. But again, no more than 10. But this is another Fossil bag that I really like. This one is more of a shoulder, you know, a shoulder bag that you would hang here. So I like using this more along like during the fall and winter kind of season. But again, it just goes with everything. Just really nice and soft leather. So yeah, Fossil is definitely like a brand I love to find when I am yard selling and thrift store shopping. I've never actually purchased a Fossil retail, so I know they're expensive, but I don't think it's, you know, as expensive as some like other designer bags. Now, I did bring up this bag only because there's something in it that I got at a yard sale that I wanted to discuss. But this bag is what I'm carrying currently. It's just this little Judy & Burke Saffiano leather. This was really sweet. Eric actually got this for me. You know, when you work somewhere, typically, like after so many years, your employer gives you a catalog and you can get something out of it just for like however many years you know, worked for a company. And he couldn't find anything that he wanted during his time to like order something out of the catalog. So he saw that there was a Judy & Burke in there, so he just decided to get that for me. So that's so sweet of him, and I really wanted to start carrying this. So I did switch my bag over to this one. It is blue, which is a little harder. It didn't come in any other color, but I don't mind. I really like the color. Thankfully, it's not like a real kind of like bright blue, so it'll still go with a lot of stuff. Just really nice. It is smaller, but again, this is perfect for like when I'm yard sailing because it's crossbody. So this, like I said, didn't come from a thrift store or a yard sale, but inside I do have a coin purse that I got at a yard sale. So this one here was probably my coolest find. So this little guy here I got at a yard sale, and it's one of those things. Here's the little key ring. It's one of those things where, you know, you find a designer brand, and I know how to tell fakes with Coach and Judy & Burke and stuff like that. More still designer, but like I would say they're a little on the lower end. Louis Vuitton is definitely like a luxury brand, and I'm not 100% confident in authenticating them just because I don't really own many pieces. Like this is literally, I think, the only thing I own. But so yeah, so since I'm not like 100% confident authenticating stuff like this, when I found it, I was like, I highly doubt it's real, but I'm gonna buy it anyway because I liked it, and it was only a quarter. So I'm like, even if it's not real, which for 25 cents, I'm like, there's no way in H-E-L-L that this is gonna be authentic. Well, I had it for a little while. I got this years ago. So I had it for a little while, and I had come across a, I don't know if it was on the eBay message boards or, yeah, it would have been on eBay message boards, of people like authenticating essentially high-end designer brand like purses and stuff like that. So I had took some pictures of it and I posted it up on there, and the ladies were so incredibly helpful. They were like, okay, well, there should be a serial number in there. You'll probably need a flashlight. It would be like way up in the corner. So they're like, get a flashlight and dig around in there and see if you can find one. And lo and behold, I found the serial number inside, and it ended up being authentic. So I could not believe I got this for 25 cents at a yard sale. This thing here probably would have retailed, I'd say, at least $200, maybe more, is what they sell for just this tiny little coin purse. It's insane. So the main reason that I haven't sold it is because I'm kind of scared. I'm worried about someone purchasing it and then trying to say it's not real, or doing something like sending me back a fake in exchange for like keeping the real one. I've been burned on eBay before. I've been selling on eBay for years, and I have been scammed quite a number of times. It does happen, and it sucks when it happens, and I'm honestly not comfortable yet selling it. So I've just been kind of hanging on to it. I've had it and I haven't really been using it. It's just literally been in a drawer in my jewelry armoire for years. And I was like, you know what? This thing is expensive and I might as well just start using it. So I've just been throwing it in my bag and using it to hold my coins, since, you know, that's what I typically, when I'm at yard sales, this is what I'm spending. This is the kind of money I'm spending. This is what I paid for this coin purse. So it's just kind of insane, and just goes to show you, like, you just never know what you're gonna find when you are out thrifting and whatnot. So 25 cents for that. That's probably one of my, like, I would say coolest finds, just because I was so blown away by the fact that it ended up being authentic, because I just assumed that it would not have been. So that was super awesome. All right, so next thing that I have is this right here. You guys may have noticed this sitting back here in my videos. She's just kind of chilling. If you don't recognize this character, it is Pippi Longstocking. And the reason that I purchased this at a yard sale, sentimental reasons. My mom, another nickname that she had for me was Pippi, and that was because even back in like high school, I still wore my hair in pigtails. We just won't even discuss this. I guess I thought it was cute. I don't know. I wasn't the most fashionable or anything like that. But yeah, she used to call me Pippi. The neighbor across the street that we had at my parents' house, he actually just passed away not that long ago too. He was the one that first started calling me that. The neighbor man used to call me Pippi, and then my mom started to, and it just kind of went from there. So when I saw this, you know, it just reminded me of her. My mom had red hair and I was the one that wore pigtails. So I don't remember like what I paid for her, probably a quarter or something like that. So I just kind of have her sitting, chilling back here just so I can see her all the time. But that's definitely like, you know, I like finding like sentimental things while I'm yard selling and thrifting. And speaking of which, that brings me to my next piece. This is one of those rings that, ignore my nails. I still did not paint my nails. We'll look at it this way so you don't have to see. Oh, there it is. It's one of those rings that look like, well, it's made with a end of a spoon or fork kind of thing. I got this at a yard sale. I was actually with my mom when I purchased it, and I thought it was the coolest thing. At that point, I had never seen something like this before, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's just like the coolest ring ever. And I still really like it, and I still wear it often. And she's like, oh yeah, those were like really popular back in her day and stuff like that. And I was just floored by it. Like, I just couldn't believe something like this even existed. So I have found a couple other ones since then, and I pick them up here and there if I see them, but this one is my favorite. I just really like the look of it, and it just fits really well here on my pointer finger. So that one is a really cool find that I probably will have forever. This next one is just plain old nostalgia. Who doesn't remember caboodles? I absolutely loved my caboodle. Every caboodle I have currently 3 of them. One of which I think I'm actually going to sell at some point, just because I don't even have anything in it. It's just sitting around collecting dust, essentially. I'm trying to find, cause you know, like, I don't know about you, but like when I'm out, like, I tend to like buy back some of the things from like my childhood, or, you know, things that at one point in life made me incredibly happy, but then I got older and now I'm like, why did I ever get rid of that kind of thing? So I'm trying to find the caboodle that I had. It was shaped like this, but it was larger, and it was like a pink and white swirled kind of marbled look to it. So like, I don't know, I'm just essentially drawn to the caboodles that are like in this shape kind of thing. So this one I got at a yard sale, and I was with my mom when I got it, and I remember it was like filled with buttons and sewing stuff, and I was like not interested in the stuff that was inside. I just wanted the caboodle. I don't remember exactly how much it was. I want to say it was like super duper duper cheap though, but it was dirty as heck inside, so I had to clean it out. But yeah, I love the color combination of this with the pink and the black. I just think it's amazing, and I know you guys are all just really curious as to what is inside my caboodle, so I'm gonna show you. Yes, it's exactly what you'd think that it would be. This isn't even entirely all of my lip smacker collection, but yes, I still have a lip smacker collection, and that is what is in here. So you can just imagine how fun it is to open this and look at these and smell them, and it takes me back. It takes me back to those days of just everything was fine in the world, essentially. Everything was perfect, and that's what I like about stuff like this. You know what I mean? Everyone has those things that you maybe had when you were younger and you wish you had again, or you do have again, and you can just look at it or whatever, and it just, the feelings that you get and the happiness that you get from it is just, it's everything. So that's how I feel about my caboodles full of my lip smacker collection. I am big on memories, I am big on nostalgia, and I'm just big on just keeping a hold of that type of thing. And you know, when I was younger and as a reseller, I have sold so much stuff that I wish I had not sold, which I could probably do another video of like things I regret selling. So like when I can find these things again back out in the wild, I definitely pick them up and I never get rid of them again. Alright, so that brings me to number 10. I just decided to do 10 things because I wasn't sure how long this video was gonna be, but if everyone enjoyed it and you'd like me to do like other videos kind of like this, like I said, I could do a video of things I regret selling. So number 10 I just gave to these guys, and I got these just this past summer at a yard sale. I got a bunch of, it was like a whole Beauty and the Beast set of these Disney kind of ceramic figures, and I sold the Beast. I have Belle listed, and I think I have Cogsworth, but I have not listed him yet. And then I only wanted, like, I honestly, out of the set, I only wanted Chip and Mrs. Potts because they're my absolute favorite characters from Beauty and the Beast. So those are the ones that I kept. And I'm just, anytime I find, and I don't ever find Chip and Mrs. Potts anywhere when I'm yard selling and thrifting. So when I saw these at the yard sale, I was just like, I have to have those. So I got them, and just for fun, my other favorite characters as far as Disney characters go, Gus Gus from Cinderella, the chunky mouse, he's probably my first favorite. Second would be Chip and Mrs. Potts. And then my third favorite would be Lucifer, the cat from Cinderella. Cinderella was my favorite Disney movie as a child. Like, I could watch that literally back to back to back to back to back, and I could probably still, as an adult, even though I haven't watched it in a while, I could probably still sing and act out the entire movie because it was my favorite. But anyway, that is everything for this video of just, you know, my favorite thrift store and yard sale finds. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You'll have to let me know down in the comments what your favorite things are that you have found. And also, as well, if you want to leave any questions that you have for me and Eric to answer on Tuesday, you can do that here on this video as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.